The Lifework Viewfinder captures the interplay of three energies across four quadrants. We generate these three energies by the perspectives we take on the status quo. The three energies create and sustain the status quo by building our capacity to bring the good at home, at work, and in our communities. Our capacity for good develops within four quadrants created by the four intersecting perspectives. Notice how the four perspectives are in oppositional pairs, surface versus depth, and individual versus collective. Each perspective is trying to shape the status quo to its own standards. The surface perspective is concerned with the material and practical aspects of the status quo, and often includes economic and transactional elements. The surface perspective gives us a mechanical understanding of the status quo. The depth perspective considers the psychological and emotional elements of the status quo. It's concerned with what is important and meaningful, and includes moral and ethical considerations. The depth perspective brings us a mindful awareness of the status quo. The individual perspective is concerned with our self-interests and meeting our individual needs. The collective perspective represents the point of view of an identity group. It's normal and even healthy to relate to multiple identity groups based on our shared characteristics and similar life experiences. Whenever we begin a sentence with "as a," we're taking the perspective of one or more of our identity groups. Each of the four perspectives competes for dominance to shape and sustain, or disrupt and change, the status quo by generating and sending out flowing and forming energies based on its own perspective. This creative conflict is at the heart of lifework. Each of us has the ability to take all four perspectives on any given situation. And when a particular perspective reveals problems with the status quo, it sends out flowing and forming energies to try to correct the situation. Because these energies come from a single perspective, they have limited effect. And in frustration, the flowing forces catastrophize the situation, while the forming force tries to constrain and oppress all others. When perspectives do battle, the status quo becomes unstable. The fallout releases the flowing and forming energies that were bonded to a particular perspective. If the fallout energies find a way to bond across multiple perspectives, a new status quo rises to reconcile the competing concerns. When newly released energy bonds across three quadrants, all four perspectives are represented in the new development. This ongoing process of collisions and rebonding across the four quadrants creates cycles of stability, followed by disruption, and then a reorder of greater integration, wholeness, and well-being. In the next presentation, we'll explore the four quadrants and how the capacity for bringing the good shows up in each quadrant as competencies, as options or opportunities for bringing the good, as good relationships, and even as our own individual sense of identity.